Kayfabe Avenue.
Justifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream rise to the top. Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and all you smart marks, I'm Richie Moon.
And I'm Kayfabe AJ.
And I'm Kayfabe Focus.
And this is Kayfabe Avenue. And man, there's been a lot that's happened since WrestleMania here for the WrestleMania Fallout. Where did you hear that we're in a new era? Did you hear? Did you hear that we're in a new era? Did you hear that we're in a new era?
They've been harping on it for the past like 3 weeks. We're about 2 weeks removed from the end of WrestleMania 40, and the Paul Levesque era has been emphasized almost every episode since WrestleMania 40.
It's cool though. This is good.
No,
I mean,
it is.
We've seen like it's cool because it wasn't just like one day Vince was here and then Triple H was just in charge the next day. It's been like a slow filtering out of Vince, and we got to like really see it. I mean, we already seen it in NXT, but like we like got to see it with I think what was the last SummerSlam that Triple H really really started taking over, and then we got to just see how things played out. And now
the introduction of the World Championship, the introduction of the new Undisputed Championship. Now he's introduced
storylines being finished.
Yep, storylines being finished, longevity and storytelling.
Right.
He just unveiled this past Monday night and this past Friday night the WWE Tag Team Championships and the World Tag Team Championships.
Yes.
Right now the debate is online. Which belt is better?
I'm immediately, my bad, I mean to cut your wisdom, but I'm immediately going for the World Tag Team.
The World?
Yeah, those are the ones that are on SmackDown, right?
Nah, those are on Raw.
Okay, so the WWE.
So SmackDown's taking, if the draft that's coming up next week actually doesn't change things, SmackDown is keeping the WWE brand, and the World brand is on Raw.
I think it's
World Championship, World Tag Team Championships.
I think it's going to stay on Raw because the letters are written in red.
Yeah. I have no doubt that the tag team titles specifically are going to stay on their brands. And honestly, the only one that's kind of messing up that flow is Cody Rhodes being on Raw. So, and he's even made mention he doesn't know how long he has left on Raw. So he was kind of getting his moments in.
The last Raw, he kind of like symbolically passed the torch to main event Uso, because he was just like, I'll eat you later. You know what I'm saying? Like it basically set up for like, yo, this is the guy now because I'm out. Without saying those exact words, like I'm out. But it was just like, yeah, like I got big old now. I'm gonna go ahead and smack down. You know what I'm saying?
He offered Jey Uso some help in that main event against Drew McIntyre, I think it was. And no, it was against Damian Priest.
No, who did main event Uso?
No.
He didn't fight
it
anybody.
wasn't Damian Priest. I'm sorry. Retract that. It was against Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And the main event, because he's fighting Damian Priest, who is the new world champion coming out of WrestleMania 40. That, all the jokes that they've been saying on Damian Priest with the bisexual Taker aside.
But how do y'all feel about that being, since Pedro Morales?
That's what I was gonna say.
50 years, you know what I'm saying?
Me being there live at WrestleMania 40, seeing Damian Priest music hit, seeing him run, seeing him cash in. I didn't cry, but it brought tears to my eyes 100%. There's a video of me screaming at the top of my lungs. If there's anything out of WrestleMania 40 that, as a proud Puerto Rican, it's Damian Priest winning. That's got to be the greatest moment for me personally, more than Cody's win, more than the new era being ushered in. 50 years Like there was a chance I wasn't gonna see this in my lifetime at this point. So to actually have been so invested in wrestling for over 20 something years, um, the last champion was in the 70s. We're in 2024. That sounds crazy. So
Right. Focus, how do you
all
feel
these years
about
I've been like,
His
Karrion
great great great
Kross is
great
my only
uncle.
hope. Damian Priest is my only hope. Oh, Carlito's back. Maybe Carlito is my only hope to see it happen in, my lifetime. But
old,
congrats to Damian Priest.
old Punishment
Um,
Martinez to take it through? You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
That's
Me
what
and
you call
Focus
a
was
thumb
actually talking
breaker.
about that the other day. Like we without realizing it, we've literally seen Damian Priest's whole run.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, it's
actually
Rings
got
of
to see
Honor.
him in was it the Manhattan Center
Nah, it
that they
was in
had
Hammerstein
final?
Ballroom.
It was the Hammerstein. Yeah, so we got to see him when he was Punishment Martinez for Ring of Honor, all through him
Right.
getting signed in NXT, seeing his entire run. So
Mm.
shout
And
out to
just for the
Damian
record,
Priest.
I've
When he
been
was the
calling him
Archer of Infamy.
Archer of Infamy, right? I've been calling him Bodiqua Taker. I think even before he signed to NXT. I think I started calling him Bodiqua Taker like after I seen him he was in All In, the original All In. You know what I'm saying? So we really seen Punishment Martinez, Bodiqua Taker, now the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest. Really, like we've seen his whole run. So shout out to him, man.
That's
That's
long-term booking, and Damian Priest finished the story.
finish the
Do
story.
you think
Well,
we would have got there without the Bad Bunny match in Puerto
no,
Rico?
no,
No.
I
no,
think that's what
no, no.
solidified him, right?
That's definitely what solidified that. They had a great match, and that crowd, man, WWE, I gotta go back to Puerto Rico. Goodness gracious, you gotta go back to Puerto Rico. That crowd was outrageous down there, and they had a really good match. But with all good news, there is some bad news. Unfortunately, Mommy's gonna be out for probably like 3 to 4 months.
Which is
She could have held the title. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. So they relinquished the title.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with Focus. It was dumb.
Really?
If yeah, it was dumb. If Roman Reigns proved anything in his run, stretching things out does work better for the long term. And
Mm-hmm.
if anybody deserved to maybe hold off for 2-3 months to see where they're at physically, Rhea Ripley deserves that. We just waited an entire WrestleMania run up to the show, waiting to see if Seth Rollins was even gonna be medically cleared. We completely let CM Punk kind of get sidelined. He's already good to go as of WrestleMania. He took a sideline for no reason. They're doing it to Rhea Ripley now. We waited for Seth to get healthy. We could go 2 months without having a tribal chief involved in a match or even a segment,
You
but you
could you could
can't
have
hold
had
off for
her
2-3 months. Keep her
you could
on
have had her
TV.
on TV doing promos and segments and everything. She doesn't have to wrestle.
Well, I think the difference with Mommy and Roman was that Roman could wrestle. That was just a story. He just doesn't. But Mommy
Yeah, but
can't.
they gave him a storyline reason to take his breaks. They
Right.
could have done the same thing for her. They could have. Why
They
not?
immediately the
Why
next
not?
night.
Let's be
Because
honest. If
mhm,
you look at because they're about to do on Monday Night Raw tomorrow, they're gonna do a battle royal to determine who's the new world women's world champion on Raw.
mhm.
You look at that list, no one deserves it.
It's gonna be Liv.
It's gonna be Liv. It has to be because storyline, the
But I
whole
think I think
reasoning
I think there's
behind
too
the
many.
injury.
I think there's too many women that can, especially with the draft coming up. There's too many women that can fight for that championship. And the difference with her and Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins was only out for like a month and a half.
Honestly,
She's gonna be out for like 3 to 4 months. She
I
might
feel
she
like
might make SummerSlam. She
they
might make.
need to do more than just put the women on Raw in this battle royal, and they need to because the draft is starting next
Should have been
week.
a tournament.
It should have been a tournament, which they could have stretched out for a month, maybe even
Yeah,
2 months.
yeah.
Give Rhea Ripley the reason to be out and see if she could come back. Hold this tournament over the course of a couple of weeks or a month or two. Give her a chance to come back, or give a chance for everyone to be not only placed in their proper rosters after the draft next week,
Uh-huh.
but Give everybody a chance to showcase themselves because honestly, if it ain't Liv Morgan, you need to give it to Nia Jax. That's the only other person that maybe deserves this.
On Raw, yeah.
Has been holding it down, has been in the spotlight, has been on a run, good run
Yeah.
since her return. I don't want to see Becky Lynch
Well,
So
Becky,
in
my
that role.
prediction. So here's my prediction. Here's my prediction.
Okay.
Draft coming up
Mm-hmm.
is gonna be Tiffy time.
I mean, anything can happen.
I mean, the way they build her on SmackDown,
She's a
I
star.
don't see that as too out the realm of possibility, but
But
I think
she got a good
SmackDown's
story
gonna
going
hold
on.
on to her.
Right, I think so too. Only
They
because
need
she got a good story going on with Bailey.
they need talent on Raw. So you never know.
I think Jay Cargill might get the switch to Raw.
She will, and I love Jay, but I don't think she's ready to hold that title and you know what I'm saying, and have that run with it just
No, not
yet.
that title. It's looking
Yeah.
like she's getting lined up for the women's tag team championships with Bianca Belair.
Right. That would be
So
dope.
that'll be a good way to maybe keep them team, keep
Mhm.
her presence on both shows, and maybe split her and Bianca.
I think that's eventually going to happen. Yeah,
Once
they'll go on a run.
the title run is done, you know, they're back to their own shows. But you know, the women's tag team championships being only one set for WWE is the only genuine excuse for people to cross over on shows.
Right.
So if they don't balance out the roster, which I think they will, Triple H is pretty good with these things.
Yeah.
If they don't balance out the roster for the women's division, the Raw women's division as it stands, I don't see anyone filling Rhea Ripley's shoes.
It's not.
Even
it's be...
even Liv Morgan, I prefer Nia Jax. Liv Morgan storyline wise, because Rhea Ripley took her out, shoulder injury.
Right.
She was out for 8-9 months. She comes back. The first thing that happens, she ends up legitimately injuring Rhea Ripley's shoulder, and now she's out. So it makes sense storyline wise. It gives mommy something to come back, sink her teeth into, and have a good story coming back. But let's be real. We saw Liv's last reign as
what
champion.
happened to Backwell?
But here it is. That was Liv's reign.
Physical. She got like health issues.
That was Liv's reign under Vince.
What happened to Backwell?
She has health issues.
To Backwell. AJ froze real quick.
Yeah, AJ froze. She said Backwell. Who's
you
Backwell?
guys are
Raquel Rodriguez.
She's
Backwell. Oh, I mean she's there, but you know she's there.
No, she has.
Backwell's
you guys are not hearing me. Technical difficulties. She's been having health issues. She has a type of psoriasis. If you watch the last if you watch the Elimination Chamber, she was flaring up. So she was in pain during that match because of that condition. So she's actually recovering.
Oh, well, shout out to her. Speedy recovery to Raquel Backwell. I mean, look at her back. You see why we call her Backwell.
I don't know. We saw TNA last night, and Jordan Grace is the real Backwell, it looks like.
Oh, we'll get to Thick Mama Pump in a second. We had a debut, man. I think we've seen this coming for a long time. Tama Tonga is now officially in WWE, and he is in the bloodline. That's a great way.
I didn't see that coming.
You didn't see that coming?
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it.
I knew he was going to WWE. We knew that.
Yeah.
But for him to skip NXT, that's unheard of. So
Tama
for him
Tonga
to instantly jump now, who I expected to do that instant jump was Jacob Fatu. I figured he'd be in the same position. And you know, we still have time. They like to cook, so Jacob Fatu might skip NXT and join this new bloodline, which is happening under Solo Sikoa. But I really didn't expect Tama Tonga to show up. Not only show up skipping NXT, but be presented as dominant.
Yeah,
as he's been in the last 2 weeks.
It's a new era, man. Like for real, I know they keep driving it home, and like it's kind of
like Rock's a board member, so now now every part of the bloodline is gonna look like they're they're sub bosses.
I mean, it's very, not to undermine it, but it's just very simple. It's if you present somebody that we don't know, if you present them off the rip looking dominant, us, even if we do know them, an audience don't remember, if they look dominant, we're gonna automatically perceive them as dominant. It's really simple booking. It's very, very simple in effective booking. And in the old era, they just wasn't, it was just wishy-washy with that. But that's why that's the old era and this is the new era. But yeah, man. AJ Styles is the new #1 contender for the WWE Championship. So we got like old Bullet Club, man. Bullet Club back. Bullet Club is basically back.
So
Basically
I'm
back.
like, I'm kind of on the fence with the decision behind this.
Why?
Unless LA Knight gets some kind of involvement,
Yeah.
why would the person who lost at WrestleMania be the first person to get the championship match?
All right.
LA Knight.
With all love to LA Knight, let's look at it in
Yeah.
ring. All in ring. Like I love
We
LA
can't.
Knight.
Let's
But
not
in
do
ring,
that. I don't.
but in ring,
I don't even want to.
who
I
would
don't
you
even want to
rather
go
see?
into that train of thought for the simple fact we're not going to compare in ring.
But
Everybody
who would
brings
you rather
something
see?
different. Let's
Who
compare
would you?
story, right? Story.
Mhm.
Who has been
Consistency.
here consistently for months? No injury, no time off. Who has always gotten to right there at the main event and then
Right.
pulled back down while still being a mainstay on the show? LA Knight. He just
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
this victory in WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
Okay, they had a little tournament, um, of triple threat matches to determine the winners. They end up fighting. Yes, AJ Styles earned the spot,
Yeah.
but did he really like
Not
He
now.
the
cheated.
tournament kind of surpassed LA Knight's role at WrestleMania. It just
I
didn't
think it
make
goes right
sense
along
that
with the
it ended
story.
up being AJ for me.
I think it
Now
does go along with the story. He got his win back.
Yeah.
he got his win back,
Yeah, he got his win back, and he
but
cheated.
against AJ. But now AJ's position above him in rank.
Yeah. I mean, I
That
definitely,
doesn't make sense unless they
I
made it a
understand
triple
where you're.
threat or LA Knight has some involvement. That's why I started, what I was saying with that. Unless LA Knight has some involvement, it just doesn't make sense to me storyline wise. Cody had
Yeah.
nothing to do with LA Knight, nothing
Yeah.
to do with AJ Styles. This is simply Cody now having to fill the role of Roman Reigns because of all these Cody crybaby babies that forced
I
this
mean,
Yeah.
championship
but
reign.
that's the story. The story is they had two triple
We
threats, and the
we
winners
could
of
have
that
had
is going to face the
could have had
championship. That's the
Right,
story.
but
we could have
coming
had The Rock
off
versus AJ Styles right now. Think about that.
WrestleMania 40,
Uh
you're
huh.
supposed to set the tone for what stars are getting victories coming out of WrestleMania 40. LA Knight was
Right.
that guy. Now tell me, what is LA Knight doing at Backlash this year?
What would you say? Well, you kind of cut off. Say that one more time. Actually,
What
you
is
kind of cut off.
LA Knight doing at Backlash this year?
He's probably going to interfere in the Cody and the AJ Styles match.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the only way this makes sense. If LA Knight interferes, if LA Knight has no involvement in this match right now, storyline wise, he doesn't.
Yeah.
They haven't even properly built the story going into Cody versus AJ is just being promoted as the first time ever. The people who are in the know that these are two Bullet Club leaders,
That's the story.
Yeah.
That's the story.
but it's not a
Transparent
WWE
booking.
story. It's not a
That's it.
WWE story. And right now, LA Knight technically should have the edge over AJ Styles.
I mean, he
So
should,
the
but that's what.
WWE
Come on,
the
you know what
WWE
happens.
story the WWE story is that Cody is the champ and he needs a contender now, and somebody needs to fill that role. So they have the tournament. How
Right.
many people? How many
But
people did he beat in that tournament?
it was just two sets of triple threats and then the last match.
Yeah.
Who was LA Knight in that triple threats?
LA Knight was involved.
Yeah,
Did
he
he
won
lose?
one, and then he won, and then AJ Styles won the other one, and then they had a WrestleMania rematch, and LA Knight was about to win. AJ Styles poked him in the eye, him with the forearm, phenomenal forearm, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
personally
AJ
like,
won.
yeah, AJ won.
Yeah.
AJ won.
So
I
that's it.
personally like it more because it's the first time ever with AJ Styles and Cody, and AJ Styles is a heel, So it's psychologically it's better, and I think they protected LA Knight because he cheated, and I think LA Knight's going to get drafted, and he's going to go after the World Heavyweight Championship. I love LA
And
Knight.
he
I love LA
should.
Knight, but
By all means, he
That
should.
makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't see him
Yeah.
beating Cody's not going to lose anytime soon, and I think it would be better for him to move over to Raw and go after the World Heavyweight Championship. That's more
But Damian
believable.
Priest ain't losing anytime soon either.
Probably not, but I feel like it's more if LA Knight versus Damian Priest, I feel like it's more like I don't know who's going
Yeah,
to win
but
this.
if
With
he
LA
moves to
Knight versus
Raw,
Cody,
if they
we
move
know.
LA Knight to Raw, then that gives more reason for him to have to build up again.
Yeah.
So it makes sense if LA Knight goes to Raw and doesn't have an opportunity or has a win against Damian Priest instantly. It makes sense if he moves over.
I just want a feud between LA Knight and The Rock.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Can you just
That ain't
imagine? I just want
happening.
to hear the guy. I just want to hear the guy on the mic. Right. That would just be that'd be great.
Coming out of WrestleMania, Rock is already cutting promos, talking about he's coming back for Cody. He's gonna make him bleed again. He's
Right.
going off to film another movie for about 2 months. We probably see The Rock come SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That's probably the earliest we'll get to see The Rock.
Yeah, it makes sense because then after that, SummerSlam is like the halfway point to WrestleMania. So like we're like not on the road to WrestleMania, but we're looking towards WrestleMania after SummerSlam. So, good shit, pal.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah.
look towards SummerSlam now because
There's a lot gonna happen.
A month removed from WrestleMania. We in France for Backlash.
Yeah.
First time ever.
Yeah.
By the way, 19 consecutive sellout shows in America. Canada, broke the streak this past Monday. They weren't sold out, but in America, 19 straight sellouts.
Goddamn Canadians.
Man. Right. Goddamn Canadians. All right, let's move over to another world. Yes. So how about a broken world? Yes. Oh man, last night TNA, we seen broken Matt Hardy come back in a match with Moose and Nick Nemeth. I just like that. I really like that name. I don't know why did they never let him use Nick Nemeth. That is such a cool wrestling name. But anyway, we seen a re-debut.
Because as we found out afterwards, Vince just liked to embarrass Dolph Ziggler and use him as a fucking running joke.
Right.
But the Nick Nemeth versus Moose, that was actually a really good match, like in itself. Rebellion All Around was a great pay-per-view for TNA. I haven't really been tuning in faithfully for the TNA, but this was a decent start-off point. One thing that TNA I gotta give kudos for, as opposed to like AEW, which I personally consistently asked for, was more cohesive recaps on storyline. Give me the why, the how, and why I should even give a shit. And TNA through their pre-show, through the content of the pay-per-view, it provided the storyline successfully. I didn't really know half of the roster of the new guys that are there or the guys that have come in since the Broken Universe last was there, because that's honestly the last time I was faithful to keeping up with TNA. But it was great. All top to bottom, every match was pretty good. Something new to see, somebody new to kind of gravitate to. But
TNA treats its viewers as every company should, as if this is your first time watching them. So let's do a nice reboot, so you can not a nice reboot, a nice recap, so everybody can be caught up to speed, so you can understand the context going. Exactly. AEW. I don't want to rag on AEW. They just don't do that. They assume that everybody knows everything.
Yeah, we'll rag on AEW a little later in the show.
Right. But TNA has some good.
I got some smoke with them right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, Broken Matt coming back, that to me, that was the biggest pop for me in the night, because these past couple of weeks,
I don't know about that.
For me, that's why I said for me. That was the biggest pop for me in the night, because for the past couple of weeks they've been teasing the Wyatt Six returning to WWE programming, and Matt being a completely free agent. He left AEW. They couldn't get agree on the terms for a new contract. I think it stems
Creative.
mostly from
Creative.
Matt wanting to use the Broken Universe, wanting to be used on TV consistently. And this was probably one of the best things he could have done. So Focus said earlier today that he saw that Matt confirmed he's still a free agent, even
Yep.
though he's working with TNA. So it's still a possibility he might be in WWE. But because of the
Chance.
Wyatt 6 teases and him leaning into it on social media, I was like, oh, okay. He's probably going to WWE. I didn't think he'll swerve us and no, we're going to TNA. I'll be at Rebellion.
He
That was
kayfabed
different.
everybody.
Yeah.
He definitely kayfabed everybody with that one.
You know what? I've been fiending to see the Broken Universe back.
Yeah.
I
I
think
hope he
if
gives
Matt,
us another deletion match soon.
right. I think
Well,
if
he
Matt,
said he's gonna delete the system, which is the group in TNA he's coming after. So we just might.
Matt might be the first person to be able to really pop up on like every major wrestling promotion. And then just like him and Jeff did years ago at WrestleMania 33, which I was there
Expedition
for,
of
that
Gold.
popped crazy when the Hardy Boys came out. He might just hop around every promotion leading up to his big debut, re-debut back in
SummerSlam?
WWE.
Just like he
Wyatt
did
said,
last time.
right, it would make so
He
much
did
sense. And
that
he looks
Expedition
good.
of Gold with
Man,
Jeff Hardy.
my man Matt got, you know what I'm saying, got straight up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's up. It's up for Matt. I'm excited for him.
Well,
Not to
he ended up picking up the TNA championship and holding it up to the fans to end the show. So he's definitely going after the TNA heavyweight championship.
perhaps another expedition of gold.
Yeah. I'm hoping
Yeah.
that's exactly where they're going. Man, at this point, TK, can you
Yeah,
just release Jeff? Just do us the
please.
favor.
Might as
Yeah.
well.
Not using him
Might as well.
right. You're not gonna use him right.
Just
Never.
let him
Stop
run
wasting the
wild.
fans'
Let him run
time.
wild.
We only
Right.
got
Let
a
him
little
run
bit of
wild.
time left with the Hardys in ring action.
Right.
Just
So
let
let
him
him run
go.
wild. But we also had another re-debut at TNA last night, which I was
This
really,
this
really
this
excited
was
for.
this was my pop of the night because I didn't
Go ahead,
even
talk,
expect this was gonna happen, and
talk
then
about
I
it.
just heard the music, and I'm like, nah, that's something that Santana comes out to. Next thing you know, Mike Santana comes out to face Steve Macklin.
That's another reason
Nobody
why I
nobody
want to watch
expected that.
TNA more consistently. Mike Santana's been on a great run ever since he, separated from Ortiz. And he's been trying. He's at least online. He's been establishing himself as a solo performer. He's been going everywhere. I think he's the current HOG champion.
Mhm.
So he's been ringing
He's gonna
bells
take.
and
He's
making
gonna.
a
He's
name for
gonna take.
himself.
He's gonna take that spot from Matt Cardona right now because Matt Cardona is out with a torn pec, so he's gonna be out for a couple of months. So I think Mike Santana is gonna take that spot of just going around to every indie promotion, just collecting belts. But I think he's gonna run it up in TNA. I think he's really he in the next by the end of 2024 he might be the TNA champion. I definitely can
Well,
I can
definitely
see
see
that.
that. In the
he
future.
posted after his debut in the middle of the pay-per-view. He did post a great promo on X, which I
Yes.
quote tweeted. I told him, let's go, another Puerto Rican world champion to come. Like let's get it, buddy. Like I think that needs to be the target. TNA is the
Definitely.
best. Honestly is the best place for him to kind of see
Well,
if he has that championship. Like
he did defeat a former champion yesterday in Steve Macklin, so
Yep.
yeah, that's a great
I think
start
he
for
does.
a re-debut.
I think he does. I think he got the
I
in
see
ring.
the way I see it, that puts him
Uh,
in one of the contenders for the world title picture already. Now he just needs to beat the other people.
Which
right, and it's cool.
brings more
TNA got
questions for the fans too. Where does Santana sit in this situation now that Matt debuted at the end of the show? He made his intentions clear on the heavyweight championship. Santana made it clear in that promo. Anybody haven't seen it, go and check that out. He's shared it on his X profile. He's coming for everybody's spots. He's
right.
adamant about that. So
He
a
might be in the
lot of
Grease match
there's a lot
too.
of reasons to tune in after this pay-per-view. That's why I think Rebellion was well done. There was
Right.
not only did it showcase, whoever was popping in the storylines at this time, but you gave us more people debuting. We had Sami Callihan returning. We
Mm.
Some
had
people, some people
Eric
would like
Young
that.
doing the sanity teases. So we have a lot to look forward to. So I think I'm definitely gonna give more attention to TNA. They deserve
Right.
it. Plus,
Mustafa
their
Ali doing his
recent
thing.
partnership with WWE, having the current champion Jordan Grace in the Royal Rumble, that was
Right.
historic. Never been
They
done
said
before outside of Mickey James that one
they
year,
was said that Nick Khan is trying to work with other wrestling promotions. Like this is
and
the
that's
new
why it's perfect because
right.
not to say, oh, we're gonna funnel them like a NXT, but WWE is lacking that interpromotional warfare, that interpromotional tournament style pay-per-views, or everyone knows WWE is number one. But why
You
not
know what? You know what it
acknowledge
is.
all these other companies, get some competition between each other? What they say, rising tides raise all boats.
Folks, this
You
is
know
That's
good
what
for
it is.
everybody.
the
You know what
best
it
way to
is.
do it.
Thing that WWE is lacking is the anything could happen in the WWE that started in the Attitude Era. Everything seems all cookie cutter now. So when you bring certain people like Juice and Thunder Liger when he faced Sami Zayn in NXT, or you bring in Mickey James, who was the Knockouts champion, to come in the Rumble that one year, and then you have Jordan Grace, and she actually was announced as the Impact Women's Champion. It just goes to show the progression of how anything can happen in the WWE is coming back,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
especially
especially
we
with
need
the
that.
especially
We
with
need
that
that
Tama Tonga
unpredictability.
busting open Kevin Owens to start the damn segment. Him
right.
smashing his rental car into Kevin Owens' car
Hmm.
is definitely getting that anything can happen feel. But
Yeah,
having a TNA partnership, that's perfect. We can have people like Matt help elevating TNA, but also given that past WWE rub. TNA deserves it at this point. I feel like they've been overlooked for so long. They've gone through the ringer for so many years with the regimes that they've had. Is it TNA? Is it Impact? Is it Global Force Wrestling? It was
those
just a lot of shit.
Hopefully
And
not.
are
the
the dark
last
days.
time it was like really glorious was when Broken Matt had his universe popping, and then recently with the kind of rebranding of TNA and them going on the road more. By the way, sellout show for TNA. There's
Yep.
probably only 3 seats left, which is amazing. So shout out to them for that.
Yeah, TNA's popping. TNA got a lot going on with their
They're
and
doing
their
it.
women
They're doing it.
and their women's division is always popping too. TNA is probably over the years always one of the top women's divisions. So yeah, I'm excited to see a possible collaboration between WWE and TNA. I think that's a wrap on. I think that's a wrap on TNA. But they
So
come
with
on
that being
Thursday.
said, let's take a quick break. Let's get these
Yes,
sponsors in, and then
yes,
we'll
sir.
come back with some AEW talk.
Yeah, we back. Let's take it over to the AEW world, to the All Elite world. Jon Moxley, new IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I
That's
mean, he's the
big.
first person to ever be AEW, WWE, and IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So that's an accomplishment. And he came back and he cut a good promo. This is the promo
What
that
was that? What was that you said just now?
he was the first. He's the first person to ever be IWGP, WWE, and AEW champion.
Oh, and AEW champion. Yeah.
This is the promo that they needed. Instead of I messes with Adam Cope, that's my guy, but this is the promo that they needed as a quote unquote response or whatever. This is how you do it and lead right into a match, right into an angle. You don't got to say nobody's name. You know what I'm saying? We all know what he's talking about, but it still was more relevant to what was going on in your company for your feuds and your titles and all that good
Wait,
stuff. So
Mox cut another promo about AEW's problems?
No, I don't want to say it
I
was about
missed
his problem.
that. I missed
I
that. I
wouldn't say
know
it
he
was about
won
his problem.
the IWGP Championship.
He did
Congrats
another
to.
rally promo.
Ugh.
But this is the way you do it, though. Like this is the way.
But why? Why do we keep giving the problems of AEW focus on AEW television? It does not make sense. Count the rally up promos at this point.
As the Sins.
We've already had over 6. Oh, AEW is needed because AEW is great for wrestling because other people will try to take us down, and I'm not gonna take this shit. Like, come on, Tony. Come on. I didn't even, because admittedly, I will double down on this on the show.
Mhm.
Unless, and I know it's gonna come from Rich more than it's gonna come from Focus, unless Rich tells me, yo, the shit is consistently good again, they lost me when they dropped that footage. Because Tony Khan showed me there is no limit to the bullshit.
Mhm.
A week after you had Copeland do his rally up promo, a week after, you do the exact petty shit and the exact useless, worthless. It added nothing. It gave us nothing. You got 50,000 fans extra to tune in. You lost those 50,000 fans once again the next week. It did nothing for AEW. Now, you're saying there was another rally up promo?
Yep.
This is the bullshit I'm talking about. I'm definitely going to watch Dynasty. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because AEW pay-per-views almost all the time are amazing. The last 2, admittedly, not too great. But I think it's this bullshit surrounding AEW. Why is the reason why the paper, but besides stuffing pay-per-views out of left field, when you had a one pay-per-view a quarter schedule, now all of a sudden we have pay-per-views every month almost
Money,
after All In.
money.
But this is the bullshit I'm talking about. Stop focusing on the negatives. Even if Mox, I'm gonna go back and watch that. But
Yeah,
even if
I
Mox
don't.
worded it
Yeah,
in the way that it needed to be worded, we need to stop acknowledging it. Stop acknowledging it. Just fix your programming. You make Adam Copeland come out, give this war cry when you wasn't even in the position to give it. You are a
right.
WWE veteran. You have not even made 6 months in the company yet.
I think the way that Mox put it was really, if you don't really know, then you won't even really know what he's talking about, because he focused it on his match with and talking about becoming an IWGP Heavyweight Champion and the problems that's been going on with the Blackpool Combat Club and who
Problems.
did you huh
Having problems?
not within with the Don Callis family, like with the Don Callis family and the Blackpool Combat Club, like the problems they've been having, like that's what he like really more focused on. But I think it's dope that he's the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
So that
But
should have been the biggest focus. He should have even alluded to anything else. And like you said, I can't really comment too heavy. Just the
yeah, you
fact
gotta watch
that
it.
just the fact that it's consistently happening every other week. This is why AEW is great or should be here or support us. Or did you see the video of Tony Khan begging his audience pretty much to show up to Dynamites to stick around for Ring of Honor? Tony,
Mhm.
maybe if you didn't pack everything on a Wednesday and film it all in one night so everyone can have a vacation for the rest of the week, maybe if you split your videotapings to 2 different days, people will stick around for Ring of Honor. Maybe people will start giving a shit about a company that was more prestigious than before you touched it.
Yeah,
hot take.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what y'all gotta agree with, but hot take. I'm on. Ring of Honor was more prestigious when Tony Khan had nothing to do with it.
All right.
What business has he brought to Ring of Honor that elevated it?
I don't know. I don't really watch Ring of Honor. I kind of see little snippets of it here and there. You know, it's a shame. It did seem like it was more prestigious company. But man, last night on Collision, Tony Storm cut this promo, and for me,
Yes, let's get into some good shit.
this is not recent bias. This is not recency bias. I really mean this. Not for a woman, not for a man. This was one of the best promos I have ever heard. The camera work, her face was all smeared after Thunder Rosa wiped the makeup on her. Yo, you should go out of your way to see it. It is
I
fire.
did.
She just, oh my gosh, I know people kind of on a line with the timeless Tony character is kind of silly, but the way she's evolved this character and like really grew into it, I'm so glad they're keeping Mercedes Moné on the other side with the TBS championship and keeping her there because she is really putting this division on her back and really running with it. And that promo, if she does more promos like that, shout out to Tony Storm, giving her flowers because that promo was fire. You should go out your way and see it.
Tony Storm is the best thing AEW has.
Besides Christian.
I mean,
we need more Christian.
Where is Christian been the past couple weeks? That's one.
Yeah.
He's on vacation after holding the company on his back for like a couple of years.
I will say that's what AEW does though. After you get like in a big feud, they've consistently done that. Like after you do like a big feud, you kind of take some time off and go.
AEW can't afford to let these people
they
come off of a major storyline and go away. You know who needs to go away? People like Chris Jericho.
I love you, Chris Jericho, but you gotta go away, bro.
Why he's not taking a sabbatical after and I'm guilty of being one of those people that's like Chris Jericho's the GOAT. And honestly, he still is the GOAT. He still is one of the GOATs.
But you need to go away.
It's the law of diminishing returns.
You know what it is?
Right
he needs to do more cruises right now.
Right.
Something.
We need two
wrestling.
He needs to go away. This
at least
storyline with Hook.
At least 3.
Just the laughable situation of him telling Hook, because I did see that promo, telling him that he needs him, that everybody who's come around Chris Jericho has been elevated. Bro, your whole group is gone. And the ones that are left don't get TV time. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Jericho?
I don't know, Chris Jericho. So honestly,
it's the delusional juice that AEW drinks and serves in catering.
I watched Dynamite, and honestly, Dynamite was really good. The one thing that I really wish wasn't on Dynamite was the Chris Jericho segment. I really just wish
it wasn't. It's like you're.
I feel like Hook could be doing so many other better things than feuding with Chris Jericho. And like you said, I think Chris Jericho is one of the greatest of all time. But he needs to go.
It's the law of diminishing returns. He hasn't done anything great in AEW in 2 to 3 years, arguably.
Nah, I think Chris Jericho's last good run was when he was a Ring of Honor champion. When he was the Ocho, when he like introduced the Ocho character, and he was having people, it was random people. He was having like these open challenges. That was fun. Anything after that is just like, bro, we don't need you as another mentor. You don't need another faction. You just need to just go away for like a couple of months.
He needs to go away. They need to focus on the stars.
He needs to make some bubbly. That's what he needs.
We need some bubbly. We need some cruises. But just stay away. Just be off screen for a while. And I don't even mind your commentary.
Jericho's just one facet of this situation. You have Christian going on the sabbatical. He deserves it if he needs it. But to pull him out of major storyline when this is the story that's hot. That Swerve, Joe's reign, these are the things you want to push. Why is Tony Storm not getting this TV time guaranteed every week? Why is Saraya begging for a match on Twitter, on X?
Yeah.
Why? Why is this happening?
And I love Mercedes Moné, but honestly,
they're already saying she's a fail.
So here it is. So she's not clear to wrestle. That's why they're waiting to Double or Nothing. With that in mind, right? So you know this, right? You could have literally debuted Mercedes Moné either leading up to Dynasty or the fallout of Dynasty. You could have moved that scheduling with it being in Boston and all that, and her big debut. You could have easily moved that to after Dynasty or right before Dynasty. It's been pointless her being there. Her just coming out and saying
Maybe
she's
not
the
the
CEO.
arena, because you do have to book the arena months in advance. So I can
They should have held that
understand.
off. If
I
she's
under,
not cleared, bro, she's
they
not
should
gonna
have
be cleared
held
for
off her
months.
debut, but
Right. She's not
it
gonna be cleared for months.
coinciding with Boston might not have happened if they didn't pull the trigger then,
I
because
mean,
you have to
I know
book
that
your arenas in advance.
I know she wanted the hometown pop, but honestly, she's a big enough star. If they would have been in Arkansas, if they would have been in no doubt to play to Arkansas, wherever they would have been in, she would have got a big pop.
Well,
So
let's
you know
be
what I'm
real.
saying?
You just said she's a big star. Is she though?
I think she's a big star.
Ever
I
since the
think so.
Boston show, have the fans showed up?
But I'm saying, like, yeah. I mean, what have they done with her? What have they done with
She's
her?
just dance. She's a
She
dancer.
can't do anything. She
You know
can't
what they've done
wrestle.
with her?
That's what I'm saying. She can't wrestle. Why is she
They,
even there yet?
you know what? You know
Why
what they've
is
done with her?
there?
But where's the
They
promos?
erased the ranking
Promo
system that they
trash.
just brought back
Promo trash.
and shot her above the entire women's division, and now she's getting the championship match. Why?
She's a better heel anyway. She's a better heel anyway. We
Not
all
even
know
at
that.
this pay-per-view, the next pay-per-view.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You could have brought her
And
in like right after Dynasty, so then at least it's just a month. If this was just a month and then she was wrestling that Dynasty, it would have been cool. But
Hold
we've
up.
been waiting for what, 2.5 months for you to
She's a
wrestle?
better heel than who?
Sasha, she's just a better. Well, Mercedes is just a better character. When she's a heel, she's just a better character. You know what I'm
Dr.
saying?
Britt Baker's sitting in the back collecting dust.
I don't
Jamie
know what's
Hayter's
going
in the
on.
back collecting dust.
She's still injured.
Soraya's in the back collecting dust.
She's
Where's
well,
Serena?
I don't know. I don't know.
was
I don't know.
Evilise.
I don't know.
They should have been brought Evilise back, but that's a
Back.
whole nother story.
Where's Layla Hirsch?
They're
In
on
Ring of Honor.
collision.
Where's Ember
Ring of Honor.
Moon?
Why
Yo,
not
I
bring
don't know
Ember Moon up?
Why
This
have they
is
not?
the thing. People forgetting the quality. Like, yo, 2019 to 2021, golden era AEW. They gave us
Where's the
everything
bunny?
we wanted to see. The women were getting their spots. We were getting consistent storyline. We were getting consistent matchups. You like, she's a better heel. Then who?
She's better as
She
a
can't
heel.
cut a good promo to
She's
save
better
her
as a heel.
life. I won't
So
take
she's better
anything.
as a heel.
I won't. Yeah, she is better as a heel.
Yeah.
She can't cut a good promo to save her life. I'll take nothing away from In-Ring, because I'm not gonna act like I don't like
this is what
her
happens.
Sasha
Now-
Banks run and all this. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't a fan of her, or I'm not a fan
No,
currently.
this is what happens when some people need bullet points and some people can just go out there and just let it rip.
What was the
needs
point of
bullet-
Why the
stealing?
WWE wire writer?
I don't know what they're
That's
doing.
what I was gonna say. What was the point of taking her WWE writer?
I don't know. And I
Right?
love
Because Tony
Mercedes.
loves to emphasize on,
It's not
Contract
you
tampering.
stole, contract tampering and stealing things. He's realizing the business. He's finally realizing he's in the wrestling business, and that's why he's trying to snatch rookies up. And now he's talking to people who are currently contracted to other companies. Now he's being a hypocrite and going back on everything he said. All the promises he made in the beginning, 3 years, 2-3 years of AEW, all the promises are being rolled back. Why? You realize you're in the wrestling business,
Tony's. That was kind of
not the wrestling community group chat.
Right.
The community.
Tony Storm kind of. I mean, she wasn't talking about that, but that's what she said. Something like that in her promo. She's like, "This is the wrestling business." She said, "There's nothing more despicable than a wrestler who says you're not selfish. This is the wrestling business. If you want to uplift women, you should have stayed being a social worker." Yo, you gotta go watch that promo.
That's what I'm saying.
That promo.
She's the best heel in AEW right now.
But that's kind of like what Tony, what you're saying. Like, it's kind of what Tony realized. Like, fam, this is and that's weird for me because it's just like, outside of AEW, it's not like this is his first rodeo being a bit. Like, he has multiple successful businesses. So I don't understand I don't know. I don't
Because
know.
this
It's
is the first business that he's a fanboy.
That
So
might be
he's
it.
seeing his heroes. He's hiring his heroes. He's
But speaking
hiring
of,
legends that he
but some,
grew up watching, grew
but
up fantasy booking.
guess who's actually benefiting off all the controversy though? Surprisingly, Jack Perry. Jack Perry is benefiting off of this.
Sold
He's
out
getting
shirts. Sold
right,
all his
sold out
merch.
shirts. He's getting huge reactions anywhere he goes. So do you bring now with him getting such a big reaction? Do you bring Scapegoat back into AEW
Yes,
now?
100%. That
Yeah.
releasing the CM Punk footage that did absolutely nothing for AEW. That should have been the
You know what
exact
they should
reason.
do? You know
That
what they
should have
should
been
do
the
with
exact
Jack
reason. You know
Perry?
what? We're bringing back Jack Perry because he's innocent in this. Bring him
You
back
know what
now.
they
I feel like they're gonna lean into that now. Hold on one second. I feel like they're gonna lean into that now because it's the logical thing to do. And the Bucks, you know, been throwing little shots and subliminals towards the scapegoat character, but now you bring him in, you capitalize on that. But now Jack Perry should tell Tony to go fuck himself.
facts.
You suspended me for what has been 8 months now?
Facts.
You suspended me for 8 months, and I'm selling merch for New Japan, not even for you.
That way he can actually turn himself into a really big baby face because he can come back on some acting like he's gonna help the Bucks, turn on them and be like F Tony Khan, because even though there's I think there's a large portion of AEW fans that like AEW, but there's a part that's like, Tony, you're not doing the best you could do. So he will be able to speak for those fans, you know what I'm saying, on live AEW TV. I hope they go in that direction because yeah, I hope they go in that direction. I think they can
I
flip this
hope
entire
they
I
go
hope
in
he
that
stays
direction.
heel.
What was that?
I hope he stays heel.
I hope he stays here too. But I
Yeah.
would agree with Richie's route because I want all of the guys that I actually like or think are decent or think have opportunity. I want them as far away from the Bucks as possible. The Bucks
But
are
that's
fucking cancer.
but that's part of he's part of the Cucamonga Kids crew.
Yeah, those are people's. Yeah, those are
Those,
people's.
I know
You
those are his
can't do
people's,
that.
but on TV, intermingling with my career and yours, I
Right.
want people to stand on their own and stay as far away from the Bucks as possible.
I think they're gonna put Jack Perry in the elite.
In the new
I was
elite,
gonna
they
say
probably
that
would.
might happen.
Yeah.
That might happen.
That probably is gonna
You
happen.
you wanna know if they really want to get heat on Jack Perry, put him in a triple threat match with Samoa Joe and Swerve and have him win the title.
No,
That's the
don't do
only way to get that's the only way you get ultimate heat on
I
Jack
think you
Perry.
get that's how you get the entire fan base to finally say fuck this.
that. Yeah, don't do that.
Winning over Swerve,
Nah,
that's how you tell the fan base, you know what, fuck you.
That's
I don't
some,
know. I can't.
I'm not even gonna say his name. That's just
Imagine the heat after that
I
on
mean,
Dynamite.
yeah, the Heat,
the
they're gonna go from 700,000 to like 400,000 views.
fuck you, Perry.
But
speaking of
yeah,
heat,
they definitely
that's gonna be like Brock defeated the Undertaker or Roman defeated the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
you're gonna see the guy with his eyes popping out.
And
right,
it's like, fuck you.
But I think that's the only way you kind of salvage the AEW footage release that they did is bringing Jack Perry back.
right. I think
Other
they should.
like it just revealed how petty the Bucks are and how
Yeah.
petty Tony is willing to be.
Well, speaking of, I mean, I guess they fired him in storyline and maybe in real life because Omega has some very choice words to say about this whole situation. I really wish they could have went Omega's route. You know, sometimes some people are not going to understand this, but in competitive sports and just even as men, sometimes we just got to fight it out. I'm not saying that's the best route. I'm not saying that violence is the best route, but sometimes you just got to go in the yard with your bro and shake it out for 60 seconds, and that's it. And you'll probably be even better after that. But
they got Jim Cornette to agree with Kenny Omega.
That
if that doesn't show you the state,
the world is ending,
the state of AEW, and
right.
and I'm so hard on the Bucks because of all the evidence that is leaning towards them being petty bitches.
Yeah, it's them. They blew millions of dollars because they couldn't sit down.
You
And
lost.
I wasn't there, but because you couldn't sit down and have a conversation with
We
another
don't have
grown
to
man.
even be there.
Right.
The facts are starting to line up.
Right.
CM Punk gives an interview to Ariel Helwani. I'm sorry if I butchered that.
No,
To Ariel.
Right.
He gives him an interview. Ariel asks questions. He's always been straight to the point with everyone. Go check Tony's non-answer interview.
Right.
He always hits you with the hard questions. CM Punk is a person that does not fear the truth. The footage confirmed everything CM Punk said, word for word.
Yeah.
You could play side by side.
Then Kenny's on his game stream.
People have done that. People have done that. Played it
They
side
literally
by side.
have done it.
Yeah.
Then Kenny's on his game stream talking about, well, I spoke to CM Punk. We're actually on good terms. He's not a bad guy. We couldn't speak sooner because of other factors.
Jack Perry.
But that same night they spoke.
Right.
Kenny has visibly, even when he was on TV before his diagnosis, he was visibly separating himself from the Elite and the Bucks.
Right. Yeah, he did.
Then he said...
He even alluded one time. He said, you might even see me on Collision.
Right. Which is the show to get away from the Bucks. Literally created to get away from the Bucks.
All right, so shout out to Kenny Omega. He's always been a stand-up guy. Now we're just really seeing it. Like he's about the action. I really like I said, I don't think violence is
as nice as he comes off. Listen, sometimes the boys need a fight.
Because Kenny Omega can really fight. Like that's why.
Even in real life, as friends, you have arguments, you have falling outs, you get, sometimes you need it to get a better understanding or get a better respect for your friends. It happens. Right. But you have to have the acknowledgement of that. This is a business.
Right.
And sorry to bring him up, but as bad as Vince has done so much bad things, one of the greatest things that he did that helped the wrestling business was, oh, you guys got beef? All right, we're going to handle that in the ring. We're going to make the fans feel it. We're going to make the fans question, was that supposed to happen?
Right.
And that's what makes wrestling come alive.
This would have been one of the greatest
Matt Hardy versus Edge situations. Right. That was real.
This would have been one of the greatest storylines ever. If they could have flipped this could have been one of the greatest storylines. People have been talking about this for
we should have knew they were gonna drop the ball. You mentioned Ivelisse. We should have knew they were gonna drop the ball because Ivelisse versus Thunder Rosa, and I maintain this opinion for years, and I will continue. Would have been the best women's storyline of that year. Would have been the hottest matchup of that year if you leaned into Ivelisse and Thunder Rosa's beef and you put it on TV and you put it as a storyline.
They've had a lot of missed opportunities. They could have did this with Santana and Ortiz. You could have leaned into that real life beef. There's a lot of opportunities. You gave them that one
matchup that's forgettable as hell.
It was on a rant because it was in a Rampage vortex. You know what I'm saying? Everything happened on Rampage, right? So
forgettable.
They've missed a lot of opportunities. But I will say, for as a lot of bad that AEW has done, Swerve about to be the first Black AEW champion. Tony Storm is putting in some good work. Unless Jack Perry takes it. As much as the Bucks, I don't like what they've done outside of wrestling, but when it comes to in that ring and just wrestling, man, I'll down that head. Bucks are still one of the best in the world.
Yeah, they got the 5 spots of doom. I'll give them. You know it's cool to see the 5 spots of doom, the same ones.
Nah, they got more than 5 spots. They got more than just
super kick, backflip out to the outside of the ropes.
No, they got
super kick.
I can't say that. I think the Bucks have.
They have good matches depending on who they're gonna have a classic with FTR. That's a great matchup for them. But the Bucks, they have the 5 spots of doom.
Yeah.
That's why the fact that they're outside bullshit and beef, the way it brought into storyline. It's like, dude, I don't even dislike you because this character makes me dislike you. I dislike you for the bad business and the petty bullshit you do on the outside. But now that your character is a reflection of the petty I just can't.
I
I just
think
can't.
my only thing with it,
You gotta do something phenomenal to get me on your
everything they're
side
doing,
again.
everything they're doing. What we are in April of 2024. You should have done this in October of 2023. You should have done all this. You had so many. You could have released that footage and you could have made it a parody. You could have made this funny and then released the real. You could have so many avenues you could have done to make this funny. Once Punk entered into Survivor Series and came on the WWE TV, the options to ever show this footage should have been deaded. Should have been
Yep.
deaded. Y'all should have took advantage of this while
Instead,
Punk wasn't on WWE.
you made CM Punk pop on WrestleMania, WWE television, AEW television, and New Japan television. You made CM Punk a bigger star in 3 different promotions that have nothing to do with your own.
Right. But, hopefully AEW move past that and, just continue on because they got a great roster and they got a good pay-per-view going on tonight. Let's do a really quick prediction show. Not even prediction show, let's do a really quick rundown of who we think is going to win tonight. Let's start off with 0 Hour. We got Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Shane Taylor from Promotions Production. I'm going
Cassidy.
for yeah,
well, you know what? I'm gonna switch that. I'm gonna go with Shibata because this match makes absolutely no fucking sense unless you have Trent Beretta interfere, cost Orange Cassidy the victory to push the storyline forward between the two and the eventual matchup.
What you think,
Lucas? I pick Shane Taylor Productions.
I like Shane Taylor Productions. I'm gonna go. I want Shane Taylor Productions to win. Hopefully, they win via some Trent Beretta shenanigans or something like that. Speaking of Trent Beretta, he is actually in a match with Matt Sydal. Trent Beretta and Matt Sydal. I'm gonna go with Trent because he's on a run. He's got this feud with Cassidy, and hopefully they can build up something bigger and better. Which I think
I'm gonna take this WWE main event of 2015, and I'm gonna just say Trent Beretta.
All right, AJ.
What was that again?
Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal.
Wait, he has a match?
Yes.
And it's not against
It's not. We spoke about this earlier.
Trent Beretta.
Trent Beretta.
Oh my God, bro.
With the main event of the pre-show, we have Bullet Club Gold versus the Acclaimed for the Ring of Honor and AEW Trio Championship. Winner takes all. I think it's going to be the Bang Bang Gang and hopefully end to this feud.
It needs to be the Bang Bang Gang because they've done terrible with their booking. Their leaders, the leader has been a pre-show phenom.
Has there been a 12-man tag yet?
No.
Because of this feud?
No.
Actually, there has. There has been some 12-man tags. Yes, they've done 12-man tags. Yes, they have.
Okay.
They have.
At least.
All right.
Let's move on.
I just wanted to make sure.
Let's move on. I'm still frustrated at Orange having a match and Trent having a match, and it's not against each other, but that's the storyline going into this. Let's just continue.
Let's open to the top of the show. We're starting off with Chris Jericho versus Hook. The way Chris Jericho feuds usually go is Chris Jericho will probably win this, so it can extend, and then he'll be an FTW champion, and he can gloat about that. So I'm actually gonna go Chris Jericho.
I'm gonna go with Hook with the Taz interference because he needs to stop playing with Taz like that ain't his fucking son. Taz maybe needs to come out of retirement to kind of punch Jericho in the fucking face over the last promo they had, and I'm just gonna go with Hook.
I think Taz is gonna betray Hook and be like, Jericho's right. And then Jericho's the FTW champion. Because that's the most Tony Khan booking that I could think of.
Yeah, Tony only books parent issues.
Literally,
it's been about fatherhood for the past couple of months. He's looking for new fathers now that he, for some reason, took Christian out of storylines.
Shout out to Christian. Speaking of Christian, Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe is going to be versus the House of Black in an
Oh
interesting
my
trio
god.
championship. I think the House of Black's going to win with Malachi Black pinning Copeland to set up their eventual TNT title clash.
Hopefully, the House of Black, so they can actually have something to fucking do.
They're
After
on a
this,
collision. They're usually in a collision universe. They're in a collision universe.
they're not enough. They're not enough
They
in
should go
storyline.
beat up the Acclaim and Bullet
Let them
Club
do
Gold
something before they eventually come back to WWE.
Right.
in like
Right.
5 more years.
Yeah, they got some long contracts, man. Some long contracts. Next up, we got Julia Hart versus Will Nightingale for the TBS champion. I'm gonna go with
Julia.
I'm gonna go with Willow Nightingale, who's gonna eventually face Mercedes Moné for it, the CEO.
I'm going for the same thing because it's the only thing that makes sense. They
I'm
only care about what Sasha's doing next.
I'm
Well,
going for
excuse me,
Julia.
Mercedes.
I'm going for Julia because she's actually has a good gimmick and can actually speak on the mic a little sometimes.
This is true. I agree. I know she's hurt, so I don't even know if we're gonna get much of a match tonight because she is hurt. Next up, we have the Women's Championship, AEW Women's Championship match with Thunder Rosa, who never lost or got submitted for a championship against Timeless One, Tony Storm. I'm going with Timeless Tony Storm because
One of
she is
the only
just
other matches outside of Swerve that I actually care about. I'm gonna say Tony should retain this.
yes.
She is the highlight. She's one of the greatest things happening organically in
Yes.
AEW. And they need to highlight her more. They need to show some fucking respect for that. So definitely going for Tony Storm. If Thunder Rosa wins, I wouldn't even be upset. Thunder Rosa is a great wrestler in her own right. There's a lot of unfinished business for her as far as her championship reign went. So
Right.
I wouldn't be mad either way, but I'm going for Tony Storm.
Deanna's probably gonna interfere, so Timeless is gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Timeless should retain. I think Thunder Rosa will have her day, but just not today. Next up, we have the International Championship with Roger Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. I think Kyle O'Reilly's going to win this championship.
Kyle!
I think Kyle's going to win this championship, and then he's going to go back to like open matches. You know what I'm saying? Because they need this. That's kind of what the International Championship was and the TNT Championship. These open challenges defended every week. This championship kind of diminished with Roger Strong, no disrespect, but I hope Kyle O'Reilly wins. And yeah.
I go for Kyle O'Reilly because of the fact that he's been gone for so long, and maybe he needs to do something significant in AEW before Tony's match booking injures him again.
And he goes back to WWE.
Focus.
I don't got no comment on this match.
Good gosh. Go! Next up, we got for the AEW Continental Championship, Pac versus Okada. Ooh, this is going to be a spicy one. As good as this is going to be, I do think Okada retains. I think that is the.
Okada's gonna injure Pac, and then Pac's gonna be gone for another 6 months. Again.
Oh my! Don't say that. Don't say that.
That's what's gonna happen, bro. That's what happens in every Pac match, bro. He gets injured, and then he's gone for 6 months.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they just have a,
This is our yearly Pac match.
Okada needs to win this because he's supposed to be the big three of signings that they recently did, and hopefully it's not as much as a fail as Mercedes run has been so far. So Okada.
So yeah, Okada for a yearly Pac match.
Next up, we have for the vacant AEW Tag Team Championships in a ladder match, the Young Bucks.
Shout out to Vacant though too. Vacant winning all these championships.
Vacant is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's the woman. She's the women's World Heavyweight Champion in WWE. The AEW Tag Team Champion. Vacant knows no limits. FTR versus the EVP Bucks in a ladder match. I think EVP Bucks win this. I think that's better for the story for EVP Bucks to win. Then they can just be douchebags with the championships. Yeah.
I'm going for FTR.
FTR.
Yep. They need some type of comeuppance. They got disrespected by the Bucks in the last match at All In. not getting that handshake extended. They used the stupid footage to try to explain away that FTR was somehow behind CM Punk pressing Jack Perry, so
They
it
were.
affected the Young Bucks in their match, which was fucking
I
dumb.
believe it. I believe it.
FTR with the win.
All
I
right.
believe it, though.
All right. Next up, we got Daniel Bryanson versus Will Ospreay. I'm going for Will Ospreay. Great match, but Will needs it more than Danielson, future AEW champion.
The winner should face, what's his name? Zack Sabre Jr. in
I'm
the
gonna
next
go
pay-per-view.
with Will Ospreay because once again he's one of the big three signings, and he's the only one that's actually been portrayed in the right light. So I think they're gonna continue that momentum for him.
All right. Focus.
Like I said, I think it's gonna be Will Ospreay, and he should face Zack Sabre Jr. next.
And last up, main event. My sponsors are trying to tell us we got to go. Swerve versus Samoa Joe for the AEW Championship. Swerve first.
I think everybody's going for Swerve on this one.
I'm going for Swerve,
Everybody.
but I think TK is gonna make Jack Perry the champion.
Oh Lord.
And with
Oh
that being
Lord.
said, and
This
with that
terrible
being said,
AEW booking. Stop
and with that
leaning
being
into it,
said,
focus. Take us home. Take us out of here.
Take us home, Jack Perry,
All
AEW
right.
champion.
You can find us all at Kayfabe Avenue. We're on all streaming podcast services. Check us out on YouTube if you're listening to the audio version. That has been Mr. Richie Moon, Kayfabe Focus, and Kayfabe AJ. This has been Kayfabe Avenue. Check us out next time. Peace.